Matter of fact, you and your son is phony. So people could win a lot of championships, right? But if America has to suffer because some one guy wants to mess up the organizations in America by trying to isolate an industry on the sports world, and America has to suffer, and people try to make world connections, and people have to suffer because they're not aware that they ride around the community with no money, no employment, never going to stadium games, never affording anything, but you want to put your whole $1 billion name on everything as if nobody can have nothing, not even the sports players and all that they work for, because you claim that they can't do a championship of records where they can re-show everything they built just in case there was 500 people under them and not 5,000. You see, so there could be 5,000 people in the crowd and 10 play ball on the field under them, and 50 people under the player on the field. You see. So at what point did people say, oh, I can just hide in secret and steal it because I can use American to say that I'm American, but you claim that people can't prove things because you won't give people an apple for competing with you and being close to your level because they just got started, but you try to shut it down and say they can't rise because you claim that you endangered American industry because you want to be great, and that's good. Americans want to be great, but at what point did Americans have to suffer because you weren't so great in real life that other people got the industry flowing? But now that the boy built his life, you want to tell people that you always existed, and people have to be afraid of you because you couldn't get them to be afraid of you in secret. They called you a pussy. But you claim you won't compete with people and give them the apple for being close to your level, you see. But they're just young and getting started. It took people to do their whole life. So America will be great, you see. There will be a promise. But there will be people with strong ethnic beliefs trying to make America suffer, human race suffer, people suffer, but trying to get a stability off of the boy's spirituality and what he built in his life of his domain, because people will be real specific winning all those championships, real intelligent, but they'll say that a king is not deemed or he have to be dethroned in his industry and his game because you want people to suffer because you can just use a trick to poison nations and say that you're not part of a race when you tell people that people are not just like you and in between, because other people with greatness came from straight sports only, but you'll try to get paid for being white and make people suffer because you claim you can kick people out of the house who had his apartment saying that he was crazy and can get killed like George Floyd, claiming that he has a psych medication, and you say that you didn't exist when you try to tell people he was endangered and can't go to the courtroom because he's embarrassed of white people telling him that he was looking funny when his head got bulged by people who you say he can't get rights from because he built his own life, but you say that you want to expose him because you say it's funny that you could just hide like a creep and tell people that you want a lawsuit because you're a crazy person thinking that someone behind the wall relates to their belief in God at a certain time, when you tell people that you wanted to expose people by hiding in secret. But when the boy built his life, he was 19 when he first got attacked, and now he's 31 in 2023 before he believed in his God, before other people believe in God too. But the spirituality that you claim didn't come from you when you try to isolate the boy and get him in secret. First decade 31, second decade 32, 23, 2013 age 22 versus 22 age 31 before 2031 age above 40 in 1990. So excuse my feet, but sometimes when I'm comfortable in my house, like I'll be feeling the thing, won't know that I'm getting things on recording, you see. So it's like you do want to point out people when people will say he has his penis out on a video, but yet in the hospital he was forced to take psych medication and get naked in front of doctors, you see. So it kind of goes both ways to show that he had to get his size bigger because people were trying to make him take his clothes off and stab him with needles in the hospital because they wanted to find a way to see in secret, you see. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So I did go through things in life, but I kept pushing. I had my first apartment in 19, studied law, business, self-educated, because I include math in practical sciences, logical sciences, because I love education, love psychology, love life, to the point people got offended and said he can't be in no industry, he can't go to nothing, because they try to lock me up for the rest of my life. But now I'm trying to expose the powers and trying to show people that I can have my way, because I had my first apartment when I was 17. Before you wonder, Reese, how are you coming here if the management, because they got afraid, because they got exposed. You see, they try to release letters of 666, but I was a man. I said, I'll fight you. But they'll say, oh, I could try to hide in secret and find a new plot against people, because they'll claim that everybody knew in the coronavirus when they say it can't be proven.